Hey guys, so in this video I'm going to talk to you about what it's like to live in Costa Rica, because a lot of people ask me, and I've lived in many different countries around the world, particularly in Asia. I'm from Australia, but Costa Rica, I've been coming to Costa Rica since 2013 or 2014, and I've actually been living here for more than the past year full time. So I'm going to be sharing with you the good things, the things that take a little while to get used to but are also good, and hopefully by the end of this you'll know what it's like to live here in Costa Rica. So the first time that I came to Costa Rica, it was actually a number of years ago, right back in 2013. So I've been here now for 6-7 years, and not full time. For the first 4 or 5 years I was flying in and out a lot, but the last 12 months I have been living here. And the very first time I came here, it was actually on the other side of Costa Rica. I flew into Liberia, which is the second biggest airport, and I was coming here to check out hotels for conferences. So that was part of my past life, and that was my favorite part of everything. I would go to these different countries, stay in the different hotels to choose which one did I want to do my conference in. So I came here, I stayed in about 4 or 5 big hotels, Westins, Hiltons, those kind of places, and I chose the Rio Palace, and 2014 we did our first big conference here. And then later on, years later, I ended up getting involved in a hotel on the other side, which is where I am right now in Estoril. So what's it like to live here? Let's start with the big plus. The country itself, the major selling point is really the ecosystem. I heard they've got something like 6% of the world's biodiversity or species or something like that. It's a major tourist attraction. They've got some really nice national parks. The closest one to where I am is Manuel Antonio, which is quite famous. So they take really good care of their environment, and they've got a lot of strict laws around protecting it. So that's what Costa Rica is famous for. So if you go as a holiday here, what I recommend you do is land at the International San Jose Airport, right? That's your major capital city. If you want to go to the beach, the closest beach town would be Jaco. A taxi from San Jose Airport to Jaco, you're going to pay about 80 bucks. Anything over $100 and you're overpaying. Okay. As far as going to Jaco, spelled J-A-C-O, it's a nice place. It's a bit of a party town. If you're bringing a family, I would not recommend it at night. It's quite known for having a lot of drugs, and you've got to be a little bit careful, but in the daytime it's perfectly fine, and there's plenty of restaurants, plenty to see. So that's one of the nicer little tourist towns here. The next place to see would be Estoril Beach. Now I'm a little bit biased, that's where this resort happens to be, Estoril Beach. It's about 20-25 minutes away from Jaco. And if you are thinking about living here and actually purchasing land, my suggestion to you is just really take your time and look around, because there is a lot of land for sale right now. Just even driving around here, you see for sale signs everywhere. So you have plenty of options, and right now would be a good time to get involved just because there's so much supply. If you want to buy some land on the beachfront, the way it works here is you actually have to do a lease. You lease it from the government, and typically leases are about 25 years long. So getting freehold land where you actually own it on the beach, that's very hard to do. There are some places where you can do that, but it's very rare now. Typically it's a 25-year lease. So I suggest you rent a car as well. Just getting around from place to place, if you are going to come to the beach and stay at different resorts, then having a car would be really, really important. Taxis here are kind of expensive compared to other Latin America countries, like Mexico would be much cheaper. So renting a car would be a good idea. And if you are going to live here, then of course consider buying a car. Now let's talk about safety, because that's something where there are a lot of misconceptions. Costa Rica is known for being a safe country, and for the most part, it is safe. There is another side to it though that they don't really talk about too much, and you know, myself being in the hospitality industry, I probably shouldn't be talking about it too much either, but I will. You've got to be careful. You've got to be careful. Petty theft is a real problem here. So first of all, if you leave any possessions in your car or laying around and you don't lock things up, expect them to disappear really quickly. So I'm just telling you that it is a safe country, but you've got to be careful. You've always got to have your guard up. It's like anywhere you go, of course, but you just need to be a little bit careful. So let's talk about driving in Costa Rica. So first of all, I'm going to say you've got to be careful. Things move very quickly. Overall, it's okay. I personally don't like to drive too much at night where I can avoid it. But people drive pretty fast and they'll be overtaking you pretty fast as well. Even when there's oncoming traffic, you've just got to be a little bit careful. So just drive with caution and take it slow. Everything's on the right side of the road, so if you're from the US, no big deal. But if you're from Australia or a country like that where we drive on the other side, it does take a little while to get used to. Now, as far as the language spoken, obviously it's going to be Spanish, and they all speak Spanish. Some will speak English. When I say some, I'm going to guess around maybe 10% to varying levels. A lot more than you realize of the locals will understand basic English, even if they don't speak it back to you. So they may understand basic words, but knowing Spanish, even just conversational Spanish, it's a huge plus. Now, as far as infrastructure goes, like with doctors and hospitals and so on, it's pretty good. Okay, you can find plenty of dentists, you can find plenty of doctors. They do have decent hospitals here. I've seen some of them before. I've had to take people to hospitals close to where we are at the resort, and overall it's actually quite decent. As far as the big selling point goes of Costa Rica, it's really the whole ecosystem. Like, you will find nature here like you don't really see in too many other countries. I've been in many countries over these past 10 years, and Costa Rica really stands out to me as being the greenest, healthiest and most vibrant looking country when it comes to the jungles, the forest and all of that. So they take protecting their nature really seriously because it's their main tourist attraction. It's what all the people come to see. Even here at the resort, we have a few different species of animals that you don't see in too many other countries. So for example, we get monkeys from time to time. I'm not used to that. And we also get these creatures called sloths. And I hadn't seen those before. And they actually come here on the resort property, and they're up in the trees, and they're very, very slow. They spend most of their day sleeping. We also have these birds by the name of scarlet macaws, and they're like a parrot almost, but they're extremely colorful, very beautiful bird, and they're quite rare in Costa Rica, but this particular area where we are is known for having them. So you'll be here at the resort, down on the beach, you'll be looking up in the trees, and from time to time they'll fly over, so it's quite a sight. Now, as for the beaches, so where we are right here, this is Estorrillos Este, so East Estorrillos. Estorrillos is known for being one of the more famous beaches in Costa Rica. It stretches for many, many miles, and it's a unique beach. I've seen many different beaches around the world, and I've never seen a beach quite like the beach here. And the reason is, when the tide comes in, it'll come like right up to close to the resort, like right up to the grassy area where you sit. But when the tide goes out, it can literally stretch out for more than 500 meters, like close to half a mile. And so you'll just have this endless, it's like a shiny mirror of dark volcanic sand. And when you have sunsets, it's really nice because it's like a mirror of the sunset, so you get some really nice photos, some really nice videos. So Estorrillos Este, or just Estorrillos in general, I highly recommend you check it out. If you stay here at the resort, you've got it right on your front step. And if you do like to surf, if you can surf or you want to learn how to surf, then there's no better place. This is a great surf location. A lot of local surfers come here, and also about like half a mile up the beach, there's one particular beach, which is really quite famous for its surfing. It's got some of the best surfing in Costa Rica apparently. So if you are interested in coming to Costa Rica, definitely reach out to me. If you're going to come to the beach, then you'll want to go to Jaco, and you will want to come to Estorrillos Beach, which is where this resort that I'm at right now, Sunset Del Mar, is located. So reach out to me. I can put together a special package for you, for your family, including all the different activities, so you don't have to worry about a thing except enjoying your time here. So hope to see you soon, and we'll speak tomorrow.